Surface propulsion. I'll just go ahead and use this wheelchair for now. Okay, what's the first thing on there? Under level surface. Bilateral upper extremities. Okay, so that's the typical way to use a wheelchair. And again, it seems just obvious how you do that, but for some people, the first time they're getting in the chair, they'll need some instruction that you're going to grab the hand rims, not the wheel itself, the hand rims, that's what they're for, and push them together to move the chair. Now, what if I want to turn? You got to turn one side more than the other. You might even pull back on the other side. So people might need some instruction and some practice turning a wheelchair. And going backwards even. Okay, so using both hands. All right, what's next? Okay, so this would be like somebody who's had a stroke. So, so my left side is my weak, affected side. And give this a try and see what it's like to move a wheelchair just using one side of your body. Because the tendency for people will be to do this. And they've got to use their foot in order to steer the wheelchair. And then practicing turning too. For us, it's not that hard. It's very tricky, especially for somebody who's elderly or who's just had a stroke to be able to do this. All right, and then what do we got? So this is what I'll look like in a few years. Okay, is this a good thing or not? Well, if somebody's in a wheelchair, at least they're getting some activity, right? So this is better than being pushed around all the time. But not a typical thing you're going to teach people. All right, letter B. Circle that one too, please. Elevation of caster wheel. All right, this is where the sports chairs are the best for that. So this is going to be practice doing wheelies. You will not be graded on doing wheelies because it usually takes a long time to be able to learn it. And please be careful with this. But the way you do a wheelie is you kind of push forward with your hands and back with your low back. And it's a matter of just finding that balance point, which is what usually takes a while. And then when you get that, you can practice propelling while holding a wheelie, turning while holding a wheelie, that sort of thing. Okay, and I know it looks very, very easy. That's because I'm a highly trained professional. So if you haven't done this before, it's really not that easy. It takes some practice. So here's how I would like you to practice. Have someone spotting you when you do it. Really, you need to be careful, especially in the sports chairs. You go backwards very easily. So someone needs to be standing behind you and not grabbing these that are going to come out. Just be ready to catch their back, their shoulders. Okay, and really, in a lot of ways, the other wheelchairs are good to practice. Okay, they're a lot more difficult to find your balance point than a sports chair. But what you can do is you can have the leg rest or the foot plates up, and you can just practice like this. Somebody's standing behind you. If you start to fall, your feet can catch you. So we're not banging wheelchairs down. All right, so you can just have someone behind you. Try to feel it, and just see if you can find the balance point like that.
Should we take the footrests off to make less weight in the front?
Yeah, you can do that. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, you could do that. That would be fine. And then, if you try to do it with your feet off the ground, it is difficult. I'm not even sure if I can. I'm not going to try it. Okay, it is. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to deal with this. But that wasn't bad, was it? Not that I'm showing off.
But you are a highly trained professional.
That's true. Okay, so go ahead and practice that. Some of you will become good at it, but don't worry if you're not, because it does take a while. All right, but please be careful as you do that. So A and B. And go ahead and circle letter E and F. E and F. Doors and elevators. So again, as much as possible, you're already going to the elevators anyway. Also practice trying to roll yourself on and off, as well as push somebody on and off the elevator.
Is that the only elevator?
You know, in this building. So you may not all be able to do that today. Just do what you can. Also try going through doors, not doors that open automatically, but doors you have to open as you're propelling the lift here. And just see what that's like. Okay, so any questions about what you need to do today? Again, stay as groups, give feedback to each other, help each other, especially